Project Management Knowledge Areas. In the PMBOK guide, the entire scope of project management is divided up and defined as 9 different project management knowledge areas. These areas can more broadly be summed up into 5 groups. Overall integrated management is the project integration management area we have already studied, which encompasses the initiation, planning, execution, monitoring and control, and closing processes. Thus, this is an extremely important area for the overall management process. For planning, scope management is important. Then, for the project's management goals we have the knowledge areas of time, cost, and quality management. Next there is human resources and communication management, which are knowledge areas related to human interaction. And, finally, there are the knowledge areas of risk and procurement management, which are necessary throughout the life cycle of the project. Next, we examine the processes within each of these knowledge areas. 1. Project Integration Management. The Project Integration Management knowledge area contains the overall management activities that act to properly adjust and integrate the many contradicting requests that may be found in a project, and is the process that encompasses many of the elements required to actually execute a project. Develop project charter, officially recognize the project, summarize and combine the project's meaning, goals, and constraints, and actually begin the project. Develop project management plan, using the project manager and team's achievements and experience from other projects as a base. Create more detailed versions of the project charter and/or project scope sheets, and integrate other plans into a single plan document. Direct and manage project execution, lead the team, execute the plan, and produce results. Monitor and control project work, compare the plan and the current state of the project's execution and perform any necessary control operations. Perform integrated change control, properly control any change requests that may occur during the entire time the project is active, using correct procedures. If necessary, call for a change management panel meeting. Close project or phase, officially end the project or a certain project phase. 2. Project Scope Management. This knowledge area defines the scope and details of all the work that will be required to meet the final goals of the project. This knowledge area underscores the critical importance of providing a detailed execution of work. Collect requirements, collect the needs of the stakeholders and document those needs and requirements. Define scope, create a scope sheet that defines the scope of the work and final products required to satisfy the goals of the project. Create work breakdown structure. Further break down the project's work and final products into smaller parts and create a WBS, work breakdown structure, that systematically documents the work involved, in terms of individual milestones and mid-project results. Verify scope, verify that the scope plan is being executed correctly. Control scope, effectively modify and control the scope of the project. 3. Project Time Management. This knowledge area includes all activities for completing the project within its time limit. After all, being on time is an extremely important aspect of business. Define activities, Further break down the work elements defined as the scope into manageable work levels and make a list of all the required work. Sequence activities. Redocument a sequence of work based on each individual constraint on the project. Estimate activity resources. Estimate the human resources, devices, and other resources required for the execution of work. Estimate activity durations. Make a rational estimate of the time required for each job. Develop schedule. Keep in mind constraints on resources and create a schedule by setting starting and ending periods for each job. Control schedule. Effectively modify and control the schedule you have created. 4. Project cost management. This knowledge area contains all activities required for completing a project within the scope of its approved budget. This area is related to the ever-important aspect of money in a business. Estimate costs. Estimate the costs to use the required resources for executing the work at hand. Determine budget. Combine all individual costs into an overall cost plan. Divide up the overall cost estimate between individual work items, and make that your cost baseline. Control costs. Manage the project's progress. Examine any differences between the project's plan and actual results thus far, and, if needed, perform any actions necessary to correct those differences. 5. Project quality management. This knowledge area includes activities to guarantee that the project will meet its initial quality requests, for both the quality of the target product and the quality of the project management. Neither we finish the product at a low cost but there are many defects, nor the final product exceeded projected costs but it is very high quality is correct. Plan quality. Set quality standards for the project, and clarify the methods to reach those standards in a quality management plan. Perform quality assurance. Perform systematic measurement analysis and inspections to obtain evidence that quality standards are being met. Perform quality control. Throughout all stages of a project, compare the results of the work completed thus far with the quality standards established and, if the quality does not meet those standards, establish methods to eliminate the problem. 6. Project human resource management. This knowledge area includes all activities that work to provide an environment in which all human resources in organizations related to the project can fully apply their knowledge and abilities. The activities in this knowledge area are related to the all-important aspect of human relations. Develop human resource plan. Create a human resource plan that clarifies roles and responsibilities for the project and form organizations based on that plan. Acquire project team. Acquire the personnel suited to the human resource plan and assign work to them. Develop project team. Perform activities that allow teams and the individuals in those teams to develop further and enhance the project team's ability to work. Manage project team. Eliminate all problems that emerge within the team and improve the team's performance. 7. Project communication management. This knowledge area includes all activities required to smoothly transfer, collect, and mutually share all required information during every stage of a project. Good work is impossible to accomplish in a non-communicative environment. Identify stakeholders. Identify all people and organizations that affect the project and document all information related to their interest stake in the project. Plan communications. Identify all required information that needs to be distributed to those related to the project, both internally and externally, and write up a plan as to how and when that information should be distributed. Distribute information, execute your communication plan and respond appropriately to unplanned requests for information. Manage stakeholder expectations. Hold discussions so that the needs of all parties related to the project can be met and solve any problems that may exist. Report performance. Complete and analyze the project's work progress status report and inform all related parties of this in the form of a progress update. 8. Project risk management. Among types of project risk there are internal risks, such as difficulty finding suitable human resources or overly optimistic cost estimates. But there are also external risks such as unexpected changes in the market or revisions to laws that may affect your project. This knowledge area includes activities such as the identification and detection of risks to your project and the planning and execution of countermeasures for those risks. It is important to predict possible dangers beforehand and do everything you can to prepare for those risks. Plan risk management. Define all risk management activities for your project and distribute required resources as necessary. Identify risks. Predict any potential risk items that could occur during the execution of your project. Perform qualitative risk analysis. Perform a qualitative evaluation analysis that delineates the major and minor effects and the possibility of each risk item occurring. Perform quantitative risk analysis. Quantitatively estimate the chance of risks occurring for your entire project besides those identified risks and how they may affect the project. Plan risk responses. Make a specific plan for how you will deal with all potential risks that must be responded to should they occur. Monitor and control risks. Repeatedly execute a cycle of identifying risks, quantifying, and responding to those risks throughout the life of your project. 9. Project procurement management. This knowledge area deals with the procurement of services and products from external sources that are necessary for the execution of a project. You must plan ahead to create good partnerships and ensure that work progresses smoothly. Plan procurement. Determine the products and services that should be procured by the purchaser for the project, finalize the details and dates of those procurements, and identify candidates for procurement vendors. Conduct procurement. Obtain responses from prospective procurement vendor candidates. Select one of those candidates and enter into a contract with them. Administer procurement. Maintain a good relationship with vendors of procurement, monitor the validity of all procurement contracts, and, if necessary, make any modifications or revisions to those contracts. Close procurement. Receive and inspect all procured goods for the project and begin the process of closing all procurement contracts.